What is up, YouTube? Welcome to this Baby Driver, B-A-B-Y, Driver movie video review. So, welcome. Please do drop a like. Please do subscribe if you did enjoy this video. I'm going to try and do a few more movie reviews because, well, I just love doing them. So, if you enjoy your movie reviews on this channel and a bit less flash or whatever, please do drop a like. So, Baby Driver. I am a huge Edgar Wright fan. I have been a fan since the early days of Spaced, right through to the Cornetto trilogy, obviously. That is Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and as well World's End, which just wasn't as good in my opinion. And I was absolutely gutted when he was taken off Ant-Man, when he left Ant-Man, because, well, Ant-Man is an interesting character. And I would have loved to see Edgar Wright and Joe Cornish, they kind of wrote the film together, their take on Ant-Man. And Joe Cornish is the writer of the amazing film Attack the Block, which, if you haven't seen it, John Boyega is in it in one of the main roles, so go check that out. That's a little thing for you there. I believe it's on Netflix. But this isn't Attack the Block. This is Baby Driver, and interestingly, so far, just before I start this video, it seems like this is going to be Edgar Wright's first hit film in America, which is very, very good because he is an amazing director, an amazing writer, a great filmmaker, and this film is no exception. However, there are a few negatives. So if you don't know what this film is about, we've got Baby who had a car crash when he was younger, and it turns out that he has tinnitus in his ears, and he has to listen to music to drown out that kind of humming or whatever kind of sound that he's hearing because of it. So that is what happens. And also, he's a really good driver. They do explain why he's working for Kevin Spacey's character in this movie, but I won't give you any spoilers. But the action, it just literally does not stop. The gas or the accelerator is pressed throughout this movie. It does not stop one single bit. And I loved the music, the soundtrack of this film, the set pieces when he's walking through the streets, he's dancing, he's singing, and to me it's very comparable to 500 Days of Summer. That film had a very good soundtrack that kind of weaved the film's narrative, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy. And I have to say, I think that Baby Driver may beat out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in the soundtrack stage. And I have to admit that I really do need to get this soundtrack on vinyl as well, because I think this is going to be a great soundtrack to listen to, because it features Queen, The Damned, just absolutely everything. Some really deep cuts there. Now, my problems with this film are that some bits do seem very coincidental, and there are some cinema sins which I cannot forgive, sadly, even around the pedigree of this film. We have a Baby who is living with Joe, who is a kind of cripple, deaf, and he is not at all similar to Baby. It just doesn't really make any sense. We never learn why we have Baby living with this guy who is very old, and it just doesn't really fit. I can't see Baby kind of living with this person, and it's never actually explained how they ended up living together, and I feel like there's a whole story there missing. There's an entire story missing throughout this. The decisions of the characters later on, when Jamie Foxx is in the movie and post Jamie Foxx in the movie, it doesn't really fit, and it kind of really, it doesn't match up with what they set up. So they set up the motives and the personalities of the characters at the start of the film pretty much instantaneously. But later on throughout the movie, we have Baby make just random decisions. He literally, the minute he meets a girl, he's not got his head straight, he's just not doing anything, he's just really different for no reason. It's literally just at a handbrake turns notice that he changes, and there's no motivation, there's no explanation why these characters change. We have them literally change probably about 2/3 into the film. All of the characters in the movie just completely just change their minds, and then in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the movie, again, some characters change 100%. So I think that the latter third of this film kind of falls apart. It doesn't really fit the rest of the film, and it feels like they were rushing to kind of get all these plot threads ended. And I think that the last third of the film really does completely go on. It turns into like LA Takedown or Heat kind of when they're running through the city, and it just goes on and on. And John Hamm's character, who seemingly at the start is someone who is really helping Baby and seems like he doesn't want him to leave, doesn't want him to kind of have this life. He wants him to leave this criminal life and carry on and be a normal kid. However, it just completely changes, and that is a real shame of the film. But if you can put this aside, if you can put the problems of the characterization, the lack of backstory for any other character apart from Baby, well, I guess that it is one of the best films of the year. However, there are parts which really do kind of not tick at all, and I would like to learn more about the characters, but they seem to focus on the action, which is very different from Edgar Wright. I think he's usually quite good at characterization, but here it kind of doesn't really work. But the film as a whole is really good. It's one of those films where if you take it at face value, then you're going to enjoy it and you're absolutely going to love it. It is a very style over substance film. It's very much in the same vein as Drive. And one thing which I found very, very funny, if you've played GTA 5, you'll know that when you go and start your heists, you go to a textile factory, which is where this is. The heists in this are so similar to GTA. It's so funny. I was sitting there like, Edgar Wright, man, you've been playing too much GTA 5, dude. Like, seriously, it is very much like GTA 5. But the style, like I said, is very, very good. The soundtrack is popping. And you know what? If you look too deep into things, sometimes you will find things which don't work, sadly. And as a whole, I really did enjoy this film. I absolutely loved it. And well, that's it for this video. I definitely recommend checking this out. 2 thumbs up from SuperHeroNexus. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.